5, 4, 3.
You're listening to the Converted Podcast, the podcast about the Guild Convert to Raid on Airy Peak, US.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 167 of the Converted Podcast, the World of Warcraft podcast all about the Convert to Raid Guild on Airy Peak, US. Sal, why don't you tell us what the audience has in store for them this week?
In this episode, we have Frazzled Thoughts, your converted shoutouts, the best raid report around, and we've got John from the raid team Bacon and Kegs.
That's right, everybody. I am Barfolomew the Paladin. Joining us this evening is John of Bacon and Kegs. John, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great, guys. No, thanks for having me. Excited. Hoping I'm not going to mess y'all up, but no, I appreciate y'all having me around.
Hey, man, if mess-ups are what you're looking for, we didn't need your help. We were already well on our way. Joining us tonight also is Ms. Sal Mysis, the Shaman. Sal, what's up?
Hello. So, are we all doing visions? Or Frazzly, you got those visions going on, man?
Yep, I'm up to rank 7 now.
Oh, you're up to rank 7. Okay.
Yep.
I'm feeling good. I think I'm at rank 9 now. Okay, because you play more than I do, I think. But all I've been doing is logging in, doing some of like the daily stuff, getting the coalescing whatevers to trade them in for vessels, hoarding the vessels during Stormwind week because screw that, and then going into Orgrimmar, which is quote hashtag easy mode, to actually get my upgrades. Now, anyone who's listening and who actually plays a lot will go, "What do you mean you're only on level 9?" Dude, Frazzly, I have a question for you.
Yes.
In the Orgrimmar visions, the horrifying visions.
Yes.
Yeah, horrific visions. Okay. How many areas can you get to?
For me, when I have help, and I've had my friend Cap with me a lot, I can get that 2 extra areas. But when by myself, I've only been able to do 1 or 2. I did find out for the pages, you don't have to do them on one run. So if you go in and all you get is one zone each time you go in, you can eventually get all the things that you need for the quest. Because at first I was like, how can I do 4 in one run with like my level? And he said, no, it's every single
No, there's
run.
like one that's like 10, man. Like that's not, as you get these like pages of a book that I guess you're putting together. I don't know how that plays out. Well, I have been one time I was able to get 2 zones done of the easy zones, but I wasn't able to kill Thrall. So Barf, here the way you do it is you go to the different zones and then maybe you kill Thrall at the end. I'm explaining it to Barf as if he's never seen these. I'm sure he has, but
I've been in there. I am very well behind you guys, which I guess leads me to ask, have they put in anything to use to catch up for those of us who are far behind, or is that not a thing in the game?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Well, just recently they buffed the heck out of the daily quests and stuff, so you get a lot more visions, or vessels or coalescing, whatever. You get these little things that you traded for the vessels, and then you use the vessel to get into the vision. So what they did is they bumped up how you get the coalescing whatevers.
Okay.
And they took off the 5 cap.
I knew about the cap restriction that they changed. I knew about that.
No, and that's a big deal because once they buffed how many of the thingos you can get, then suddenly you can get more vessels, and then it's like, well, I can't get so many. So
I want to collect as many thingos.
Yeah, the only thing is that they don't stack, which is like, come on, Blizzard, can you at least stack them? I mean, you can stack currency, but can't you just stack these?
The potions and the breads that I buy are oddly shaped, and yet they stack very neatly.
Exactly. No problem. But these vessels, they're they're from Black Dragons, or a Black Dragon. So I don't know. So but anyway, what I've been doing is just farming the heck out of that currency to buy the vessels. So I've just been getting a lot of vessels and just going in, doing one zone and getting out. One zone getting out, one zone getting out. Just farming it that way,
Just to
and just getting
pile up your
pages that way.
cumulative.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
is everyone who's listening to my voice right now are going, Sal, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You're not getting any of the gear? No, I get gear once a week, basically. Um, and a friend of mine did try to do a full clear, and that friend kept DCing, and we only ended up doing 2, which is double what I usually get done.
And
So it was still a great run for me.
I've got a friend who is already up to masks now. They did like a full solo clear. Now they're like working on the challenge modes. I think they're up to like they did like a 2 mask run. I mean, they're like all the way up at the top, and I think they've already done a heroic of the newest raids. So it's just like yeah.
Well, yeah. Honestly, if I were in a group, I'd go further. I'm sure, and I've got some really good essences, and my corruption's okay, and my gear's decent. Um, yeah. Anyway, that is my very long-winded tale of me totally just cheesing these visions to keep my legendary cloak up.
That's fantastic. Also with us today, Mr. Fantastic himself, who you've already heard so far in the podcast, Mr. Frasley. I almost said Frasley Fantastic again. I don't know why. Mr. Frasley Tastic. What's going on, man?
I'm the Frasley who is almost
I'm almost up to Legion on my Mechanome mage, so I had to go with the.
This is the Mechanome voice, the old Xbox Live from
That's
we
going to
should
turn out great on the podcast.
we should tweak that
Sorry.
one. We need to field test that one a little bit more.
Sorry. I'm
So that's a Mechanome voice then. You
Yes.
said. So you're not exalted with the Mechanomes yet?
No, I am, but now it's I'm leveling a Mechanome, and they're up to 95 now. So
Oh.
I'm working on on getting the heritage armor and stuff like that, and then after that, I'm gonna work on doing the mage order hall. So I'm enjoying the mage. It feels so good. Like when things explode and you're like just shooting fire, and I don't know how fire and ice and water and how do Mechanomes even handle this stuff?
Magic.
Okay, because it's like whenever I put any of my electronics and any of that stuff, it burns. Like I ruined an iPhone because of water. Like I don't get it.
They kind of addressed this exact question in D&D when they released the most recent class, where they said, oh yeah, this guy, he's got like wizard spells, but it's not like he casts the spell. It's like he pulls a dirty can of oil out of his pocket and throws it on the ground, and that's how you cast the grease spell. Like they very
explains it.
deliberately work through like, oh yeah, it's very mechanical, it's very like itemy. So the answer to your question, I think, is that they've got their robot hands with their pincers and their clamps on the end, and there's like sparkies on them, like flame strikers in the fingers, or there's like flamethrowers in the sleeves. Nothing in my sleeve except for this flamethrower. It's fireballs. In my head, for some reason, I've always pictured that they're very mechanical in that way rather than magical.
Which that explains that they have those things and that they never touch the innards of the being. But then how do mages almost? I mean, eating puddings and cakes and pies, and how am I as a Mechanome eating and drinking, or is that stuff still
Robot hands into the face.
Okay,
just pick it up.
and then the digestive tract is still good. Whereas
They're
everything
Yeah,
else-
just
it's
bowels.
you're all meat on the inside on this part.
okay.
You just have upgrades in
I
other
mean,
places.
I guess you can be as much or as little meat person as you want to be. Really, don't they like let you mechanize your whole head and all that nonsense?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's the whole deal about being a Mechanome. That was the whole thing we were fighting against. Is the choice to upgrade or not upgrade as much as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Frasley's not been upgraded himself. This is on my alt because I don't get the blue hair as a mechanism. And plus, if you've ever seen Tusk, that movie, Kevin Smith is a great director, but changing yourself in that way, well, he didn't choose to change into it. Anyway, yes. Hey, Barf, how are you doing?
The comparison I would have made is Ghost in the Shell, but other than that, I 100% get it. I understand it. How am I doing? Well, I am recently recovered from yet another illness. Do you remember a couple weeks ago when I came on here and my voice was had that deep, like I just was sick. Yeah. Did you remember that? Remember that happening?
It was deep. It was sexy.
This one wasn't sexy voice sickness. This was laying in bed unconscious for 3.5 days sickness. This was like, oh, he has a flu. We'll see him next week. Like it was rough.
I just looked up Tusk.
It's a great movie. See it once. It turns your stomach. It's a great movie. Once.
No. I don't. Oh.
Once.
Is it supposed to be a comedy?
No, not at all. Not at all. It is.
No.
Yeah.
No to torture porn. Anyway, I'm sorry. I continue.
I was just talking about how I didn't do a lot of the things that you guys are discussing in game today because I didn't do much of anything at all this whole week because of did a lot of sleeping because of had an illness. So now I'm all out of sick days for probably the entire rest of the year. So I just have to continue to be a healthy person until January. I think I can do it.
No problem.
I think I got it.
You know, COVID-19 just hit our area.
Yeah, but the thing is I know how to wash my hands. I watched a video about it. I know about the between the fingers and the around the thumb part. I know about that.
I need to do.
And the soap on the. I know all the tricks now.
And I was hearing, for like timing wise, someone was saying happy birthday to you in your head because they said if you do that, it at least is enough time and that way you can also be celebrating your birthday every single day of the year.
I almost don't celebrate my birthday on my birthday, just as a consequence of like I'm a podcaster, so I understand that this is weird, but I don't actually like to be the center of attention. And I actually don't really talk about my birthday at all when it occurs. So the idea that I would have a birthday 3 times a day minimum is a little much for me.
Wait, you only go to the bathroom three times a day?
Well, I'm saying like if I 3 times a day to wash my hands, I think is probably the bare minimum.
Yes.
Sal's whole desk is currently an elevator, and I'm bringing my attention to it. But yeah, man, I'm an expert now. Watched the video, know all about the soaps, know all about the soaps. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be healthy, safe, adult human man. And the COVID-19 is going to get all the people who are not me. I'm going to be the sole survivor. I'm going to be the main character from The Stand. My goal in 2021 is to be one of the characters from not the beginning of, but the middle of The Stand.
Oh, I was thinking about The Sting. Not the
I was
Sting.
thinking of The Walking Dead.
Bum, 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 bum.
That's what I did this week. But the thing is, though, is we're a Warcraft thing, and we talk about like the community. And in keeping with that theme, I think tonight's show is going to be a lot of fun. We brought on Bacon and Kegs this week. Getting some love again, but for the very first time. Right? That's what it says in my show notes. Because I remember we've had Bacon and Kegs before, right? This is the first time we've ever spoken with John, right?
Absolutely. Because I think we've had Bacon and Kegs on before.
Yeah, I was pretty sure we had. Yes. So when I saw that it was the first show, I was like, okay, well, wait a minute. I remember, but it's because we got John in here. All right, man. Well, please, now that we've rambled, I would like to welcome you to the floor. It is yours. The floor is yours, John. Introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself.
No, thanks for having me. I'm John, and I go by John both in real life and in game by John, as you can imagine. No, and we're from my wife and I, as a firer, we're here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We own and operate a mid-sized web development firm, and we've got an incredible team. But yeah, it's mostly just work that eats up most of our time. Totally sympathize with you guys when you're, just trying to get in and get out with your horrific visions and all that stuff. But yeah, WoW's pretty much our only kind of letting down our hair time throughout the week. But yeah, pretty much just the ins and outs of running a business kind of eat up most of my day, most of my weeks, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I could tell you about what I did throughout the week like y'all did, but it's pretty much more the same as y'all's story.
Yeah. Are you getting any further in visions than I am?
Well, just I think we're as a group about average about rank 10 to 12 in cloaks. That's just because we're starting to bump up against the Enzoth and the Carapace fights and stuff like that. Uh, and that's one of the couple fights where the cloak actually makes a difference. I tell you what, though, getting from rank 10 to rank 11, I believe, it's one of those cutoffs where your sanity decrease throughout the raid. It goes to a higher percentage. You get more corruption resistance, your sanity decay is reduced, and that just makes all the difference in the world. We were having a hard time, like 3 or 4 chests in it, maybe not killing Thrall, and then once you hit that 65% sanity reduction, it's just goofy. You're able to fully clear it, and you've got an orb left over, and you're just wandering around wondering what to do. And it's such a big jump. It's a little goofy.
It's a lot harder to get to though. From 10 to 11. Like that's a much longer quest. You need substantially more pages.
Yeah, about I think it's 8 pages or so. If you're running in a solid group, you can technically now, with how they've shifted some stuff up. You can get a max, I think, of 4 pages per run. So you can technically get it done in 2. But I'm of the same mind where I don't like to stress out
Right.
about the horrific visions when I'm in there. So I like to try to just get it done at a leisurely pace. And if I can't do X, Y, and Z, I'm not going to stress out about it.
Yeah, I'm just helping out Zakan over and over again.
Yeah, right.
That's it. And if I've got a friend with me, I'll help Garona out first, and then Zakan. But Stormwind is not in me to do. Maybe once I get my cloak to 11, then I'll start trying out Stormwind.
Is it because we have like that full year where we were practicing invading Orgrimmar, and no one's invaded Stormwind since Warcraft 1?
I mean, we have quite a nice city in Stormwind. I mean, other than the fact when Deathwing destroyed one area.
Yeah, and it took about 7 years to repair it. I think it was all a union job. So
Yes.
Well, no one wanted to work it after what happened last time, if you know what I'm saying.
right.
It does look lovely now, though.
And Pete brought up a good point. The Horde did escape from Stormwind this time, though.
Yeah, it's true. It's all right. We'll get them.
What, like one dude in the Horde escaped from Stormwind? And every time you go into Stormwind, like in the Dalaran area, not Dalaran, in the Mage Tower, not the Mage Tower, you know what I'm talking about, the Mage Quarters.
Yeah.
The portal rooms, you go in there and you fly away. There's always someone saying the same thing about how not Garrosh,
Zol?
Sourfang escaped from the stockades. And someone says, "Oh, I heard King Varian did that." He goes, "Oh, that's just hearsay. He never would have done that." Yeah, I see that several times a day because I'm constantly going in and out of Stormwind, like using those portals because I have to get back to Stormwind to go to Panda Land and got Stormwind to go to Oldham and back to Stormwind to go buy whatever mats I need.
It's been a while since I've said this, but I'm starting to feel it again. We need more personal teleportation doodads.
Yes! I mean, mages have it, and Volpira have their really cool traveling campfire hoster. But yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, but I like having a backpack full of ring of teleport me to the place I want to go to.
Exactly.
I got
I
a
have
couple of
three
Dalaran ones.
Stormwind cloaks.
Stormwind cloaks. Yeah, man. Give me that
I've
stuff.
got a ring for Dalaran.
Grand Nagus makes an excellent point. He says engineering best profession, and he right. He right.
That's right. I need to level my engineering because I can get some cool stuff out of that.
Mm.
But John, so with Bacon and Kegs, can you tell us about the Bacon and Kegs team? How did you form?
Well, I haven't been leading for too terribly long. Big O, who you have had on the show before,
Yes, we have.
I heard you guys, yeah, talking about that earlier. He led it for quite some time, and some other folks before him. So it's kind of been handed down throughout the years. And in terms of the formation, I'm not 100% sure on the chronology there. But the entire ethos behind the team is, we'd rather, instead of pushing progression and super duper hard numbers and gear, we'd rather just have a good time with some good folks, and get some loot along the way. And for a lot of folks who raid with us, they're just like everybody else. They've got a lot of responsibilities throughout the week, and so the weekend's kind of that only solid slot there for them. So it was just kind of putting two and two together. It was just, hey, we're wanting to have a kind of relaxed environment. We want to progress if we can, but that's not the end all be all. We're never going to kick somebody out because, oh, you're not pulling X, Y, and Z numbers or something like that. So it's just laid back and chill. And our ever since our formation and going on into now, that's pretty much how it's always been, and it's just been based around kind of that ethos.
And what level of progression are you?
Right now we are 7 out of 12 heroic.
Nice.
Yeah, we've been fortunate to get AOTC for many years and many expansions and tiers and all that stuff now. But it's never a super duper hard goal. We're not letting folks know, hey, we're aiming to hit AOTC or bust, or you're all garbage if we don't get it. It's just it's just something that we've been fortunate to get, and it's nice to be able to do it while operating under kind of that creed of, hey, let's seek to improve, let's have fun with one another, but there's no cutthroat junk going on here.
And I'm hearing from somebody that you have a thing called Sunday Fun Day.
Yes. Okay. So a little bit of background there. So it's pretty much when we're on Saturday, there's not a lot of difference between Saturdays and Sundays, but I would say that it used to be that we reserved conversations of the more spicy variety for Sunday, but now it feels like it's taken the shift to where people really they've got a list of stuff that they're really wanting to dish out on Sunday. And so conversation gets a little bit more spicy. There's a couple extra digs and daggers here and there, but it's all in good fun.
Which is nice because I could see doing a raid 2 days a week. If you were doing solid progression or like solid focus both days, it could get tiring. It's nice that there's a day where you can kind of let loose.
Oh goodness, yeah, and that's the whole point of it. When we kind of get past our progression, if let's say we hit AOTC tomorrow, or this weekend rather. It's typically Sunday Fun Day is where we might say, hey, let's go to Mythic Nighthold or something like that and just farm transmog and just shoot the breeze with one another, just to keep things light and airy. It's a lot more loosey goosey post progression. But right now we typically use both days to press further into heroic. But we always kind of operate, if it's Sunday Fun Day, have fun with it. Don't worry about hitting X, Y, or Z, metrics or whatever. Just chill.
And do you use Sunday Fun Day to also like bring people in who may not be quite so sure if they how they do on Saturday?
No, not really. No, if folks are interested in joining up, we always just have them get in contact with me. We kind of let them know, hey, here's the kind of the creed of the team and the operating logic that we abide by. And no, we just bring them on in. I might do like just a quick check, to make sure they're not, a fresh 120. I don't know what their experience is in the game. And but no, we rarely do we turn people down. We always do strive to improve, but we're never in anybody's face about it or anything like that. We provide all enchants and gems and stuff for all our folks, and it's just a really good cohesive squad.
Wow,
And
that's really impressive that you provide all that and that it's just that's how you operate. That's actually really cool.
yeah,
How then has your sort of attitude toward the raid, like, okay, we're gonna go in, but we're gonna have a nice time. We're still trying to push. But we're gonna have a nice time and all that. How does that impact what your progression is? Like, do you feel like, oh, you know what, if we had just had more of a focus face on, we would have pushed further? Or is it the other way around, where because you guys have that sort of relaxed and we're here to have fun mentality, that the stress is lower and then that helps push forward? Like, is there an effect there at all that you're aware of?
Oh, 100%. No, I've, back in Burning Crusade through Wrath and all that stuff, I was in the super hardcore raiding scene, and it was neat to progress, but you didn't feel any of those connections between the folks. And really, what I see is, in a more laid back group like this, is that because you find, no matter where you're coming from, whatever walk of life you're in, you know we're blessed to have such a nice, cohesive, and welcoming group. And that when you join in, we've seen folks who typically, might have not parsed that well at all, because, we do have high performing folks on the team for sure. And we've got they're super strong players all around, and they might hop in and say, "Oh man, I really had fun with these guys. They were super welcoming, super inviting. They made me feel, right at home. I can't wait to raid with them again. Oh man, I noticed that, in the logs, I didn't do that well. Maybe I can, look into what I can potentially do better." And it's never and that's never the mentality or the mindset of, "Oh, we're going to use this, quote unquote social pressure to put people into a mindset of performance." But it's just, kind of like in a work environment. If you're in a place that, is accepting and understanding of you, and you're still a part of that cohesive squad, there's that bit of, I want to be as much help as I can to my friends. And particularly in this tier, we had a lot of folks who needed to handle some real life stuff and drop out here and there. And when that happened, we had some pivotal roles missing: healers, tanks, and specific DPS like monks and um, havoc demon hunters, because those buffs are a thing for some reason. And we had just a complete outpouring. Every single person was saying, "Oh, hey, I can tank, man. Hey, I can heal, man. Hey, I can do." And that's exactly the environment that we're aiming to build, and that we love being a part of, is that everybody just adapts this mindset of, man, I want to be, I want to help my friends, I want to help my bud. And that's really what I feel drives higher than normal progression. Now, are we going to jump on into Mythic and just, absolutely steamroll that? And no, because at that level of performance, what I don't like about that, and why the team's ever been really structured about super high level performance and venturing deep into Mythic, is that there's a lot of instances where, the personal numerical performance can breed some level of animosity towards others. Now, not all the time, not at all, but it just kind of sets the framework for that. So that's why we've stayed largely a heroic only guild, is just so the raid can match the mindset. We still get meaningful progression, but we don't put ourselves into an environment where, oh my gosh, some person pulled X amount of percent of DPS or didn't do X mechanic correctly, and I want to progress, or now I'm angry at that person. And kind of the threads begin to unweave there, and the kind of the tapestry of the friendship. Does that make sense? I kind of rambled there. I'm sorry.
No, I thought that that was a really great answer. Really got into what I was going into too, because I mean, I can't tell you how many organizations and how many teams I've been a part of where, like, the goal started where you guys are, and it slid into, well, we have to focus up because we're losing on the boss, and then it's just not as fun. It's just kind of a bummer.
Exactly.
But you guys, it really sounds like you guys are striking that balance in a really profound way. So that's actually really commendable.
No, we've been blessed, and just everybody coming in having the same mindset. And of course, there's the oddball out, every so often, but that's extremely few and far between because just making it known up front that hey, this is a place to have fun, hang out, make some meaningful progression, and kind of deck your tune out and all the cool stuff. But we're here to have fun, first and foremost.
So, how are you enjoying the current raid tier of Nihilotha?
I think aesthetically and in terms of like the theme and everything that they're wanting to set up, it's pretty darn cool. Not a fan, this is just me personally, of the trash packs, and it feels sometimes like you're just operating in one big empty space sometimes, which is, I guess, adds a little bit to the sense of the foreboding. But overall, aesthetically, I think it's great, especially when you see that big old skybox when you're going to the last two bosses in Ny'alotha and you see Enzoth and all the tentacles and stuff. It really, kind of puts the fear of God in you, or in old God in this case, to make a terrible joke. And
I get
it's
it.
yeah, it's uh, it's it's aesthetically neat. A lot of the fights are pretty tightly tuned. Not a fan personally of Zanesh just because I hate the fights where it can all come down to one person, and it kind of like we have the themes we were touching on earlier. Oh man, one person, just having a bad day, or maybe they got something going on, and they want to perform, they want to help their friends, and they want to do good by everybody and get the boss down. But that one pass fail mechanic can just bite you in the butt repeatedly, and just humans being humans, it can't help but kind of drag down the mood. But overall, I think it's a cool raid. We've yet to really see Enzoth in earnest, so I can't give my full robust opinion there because he definitely looks mechanically engaging. It From everything that I've seen and from our other raiders who come from other teams who've gotten him down on normal and such. Uh, Definitely seems mechanically challenging, but I'm telling you, if anybody can defeat heroic and above Ashara with all the mechanics that Ashara had, I don't think any raid tier boss is going to compare in the near future.
So, what mechanics would you say are tripping you up on this tier?
First and foremost, Xanesh, not for lack of being unable to do it. It's just it's dependent upon um, a lot of factors that are out of your control, like the obelisk placement and things like that. But also, there's just times where it's just downright finicky, and you can be standing right flipping in front of that orb, and it just scoots right past you, and just runs right into a Shara, and boom, you've wiped. Um, but a lot of the fights, in terms of how they're mechanically set up and what's tripping us up, nothing too bad outside of those hard pass fails. We've been able to make some pretty rapid progress throughout this tier. I have noticed somebody called to my attention a couple days ago that just about every fight, and I'm trying to mentally confirm it as I'm talking to you, but every fight has a hey, you get X thing around your feet, get out and drop it away, and I didn't believe it at
Huh.
first when I heard it, and then you go through every fight and you're thinking, "Oh yeah, Mount and Raytheon, and oh yeah, they've all got that." And so there's I like the mechanical consistency that's prevalent along a lot of the bosses. A lot of the fights seem well designed. I know Raden and Vexiona especially put a little bit more pressure on the healers than what I typically enjoy. But other than that, it's pretty good. It's pretty tightly tuned. We're enjoying it.
I mean, you're talking about the stuff around your feet. If you add that to corruption levels that people might be having on their cloaks, that's a lot of stuff to be dodging.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it's thankfully they've got that now. Rather, thankfully, when I can remember it, they've got that cooldown on the cloak that you can use to kind of purge everything
Oh yeah.
and get it away from you. But no, there's a lot more movement. We try to keep everybody. We've got a when it comes to corruption, our rule is essentially, hey, you do you, but if it starts rubbing into others and messing them up, then you got to cool it. So Personally, I like to stay at 39 and below, just so I don't hit that fourth thing of my own little shadow clone or whatever chasing me.
That's what people say. That 39 is the cutoff.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we abide by too. But some folks can push it a little bit higher, and we don't have any hard limits there.
God
Uh,
bless them. Um,
yeah.
but I'm rocking 19 at the moment, so
Oh
I'm not
yeah.
trying to get 20.
And in addition to to people pushing limits on mechanics, your raid team sounds like there's a lot of fun we have a request for you from chat to
Oh
say
no.
dip, 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 dip,
What's
dip.
this
Okay.
dip thing?
Yes, what
Okay.
is this
Okay.
do?
Let me back up. Let me back up. I am very it's by product of a business. I am very folksy when I talk in raid chat. And a lot of folks have complimented me on it. Some have said it's creepy. But when I raid lead, it's typically something like, all right, and we've got this mechanic coming up in 5 seconds. Get ready to move. All right, good job. And back on the boss. And so it's somebody said it feels like a, you know, serial killer Bob Ross trying to lead the raid, which I get. And but no, dip, dip, dip. Okay. I like to communicate. I do not consider myself a smart person, so I like to break down everything as if I'm talking to a 5-year-old, kind of like the Eli 5 rule on Reddit. And I try to break it down super duper simple. And so when we're on Mount and there's those portals on the ground that you have to drop off and then you have to periodically dip back into before the big old explosion goes off and you get killed, since you're kind of using that mechanic against them, I like to keep things simple. But I also like to make sure that, hey, if there's a big important, raid wipe one shot encounter, I kind of make a big stink about that on the chat. So I try to say something that's going to get everybody's attention, but it comes out dorky as all hell. So it ended up coming into, I tried to say, okay, and get ready to dip into the portals and go ahead now. And that just, we were missing it. It was inconsistent. So in a mix of panic and trying to optimize my calls and the fact that I speak a little bit too quickly when things get heated, it turned into, okay, we've got annihilation coming up in 5 seconds and dip, 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 dip. And so that's when they dip.
Yes.
That's when they dip into the portal. And I didn't notice it the first time I did it.
You
And
did
now,
that not noticing it?
no. And that's just literally how I talk. Like anytime there's a mechanic where you have to do something or with somebody else, like on Vexiona, you got to pair up to run out of the mechanic. And so I go, okay, everybody, find your buddy. All right, you got your buddy. Okay, we're running out, and there's the fear. All right, stay with your buddy, and good job. And so it's not meant to like talk down to anybody. It's just how like I need it explained to me if I was, trying to execute those mechanics. And so, no, I did not notice. It has become the meme of the month within the Discord. And no, it's fantastic. I'm feeling like I've missed my calling as an auctioneer, as some folks have pointed out.
I think you could do it. I saw an auctioneer last month, and they were like, going like, anyway, we're over here doing this, and we're doing that over here. Okay, do I hear 5? I think you'd be perfect at it. So, John, we have a tradition here
Yes.
called Turarts Really Hard Question, where we ask you, can you name all the members of your raid team?
Yeah. No, hang on one sec. So just okay, so here's the thing. In Bacon and Kegs, we've got our core roster of Raiders, right? Who's pretty consistent. But we never want anybody to feel like they don't have a home to come back to. Oh, okay, I'm seeing the Twitch chat now. Okay. And the overlays. Okay. But no, yeah, I didn't have anything prepared, but we've got Carrie, there's Dirt McCurt, Don Duran, Eleanor, Enco, Nugs, Harold, Judge Lomas, Drova Shard, Zamar, Pandemonium, Ray, Rafflechopter, Rhoda, Skya, Thurgan, Tyr, Zaf, who's my lovely wife, Z or ZZX or Mandarl. He's got a bunch of alts. Moriarty and Sly. Those are the two co-officers in B and K. Aerolenia, Joker, Caveman, O, So, aka Fargan, Frosty Dog, JD, Cal, Meech, Sanji, and uh, Zarky, and of course myself at the bottom of that list. But no, that's the kind of the core roster right now. We got some folks, of course, who dip in and out. They're dip in and out. Who come in and out. Who come in
What
and
do we
out.
do? How's it go?
They dip in and out. But no, we don't have any hard, oh boy, you better attend requirements or anything like that. If you need to bounce out for a week or 2 weeks or 6 up to a time, just let us know. That's no problem. There's no participation requirements. And we also kind of have a thing where, and I don't have all these folks kind of committed to memory or on a list anywhere, but we've also got within BNK the BNK for life kind of moniker that we apply to folks in Discord. We never want folks to feel like, oh, you stopped right in, you're no longer a part of the team. It's going to be awkward if you join into Discord ever again. And so we like to give folks that title in Discord, so they kind of always know that they got a place to be. And I don't have all those folks because that's like goodness about 100+ people. So
Bacon and Kegs has been around since the inception of CTR.
yeah.
And the idea of Bacon and Kegs, we haven't even touched on this. I just know about it. Is that tell us what time you raid?
Oh, right. My goodness. We raid on weekends, Saturday and Sunday. In case you need to be reminded what a weekend is, apparently. Good Lord. From 5 a.m. server to 8 a.m. server. So for me
Whoa.
here, that's, yeah, 7 in the morning till about 10 in the morning. And so it's early. We got a lot of groggy voices when folks first pop on, but we've got some folks from Australia and London and all over the place. So it's a well balanced team, all kinds of time zones. So somebody's always uh, peppy and perky.
I think I think you're the team that I know. Lady Emma's been on a few times because it's worked early on in the mornings for rating.
Yeah, no, and that a lot of folks have said, "Oh man, I've got, I gotta take kids to soccer or whatever, and then on the weekends, and this allows me to still have that little bit of fun time that I normally wouldn't get to have, and do it with some chill folks. So we like kind of being that niche weekend squad. It's been a good place.
So you get some people are eating their breakfast, but you got your other people drinking their beers
So
because they,
you,
heading to bed.
I bet you're encouraging push to talk instead of voice activity.
Yeah, no, we've got some folks drinking their beers and eating their breakfast, and uh, some folks drinking their beer with their breakfast,
It's the
and
weekend, man. What are you gonna do?
It's Sunday
fine.
fun
yeah,
day.
exactly.
Fine.
Sunday fun day. No, exactly. No, we don't. Yeah, push to talk, or yeah, we typically like push to talk just because the errant sneeze in the middle of a raid call.
And we've lost John, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh no!
No. Oh,
My
sorry.
goodness, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I
No, we could hear you. I guess you were just finished with your sentence, and I didn't know it.
No, I was still talking there. I'm sorry. No, I might have. Again, so a perfect time for push to talk to fail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was actually that was my plan all along. No, but yeah, we've got folks from all time zones. A lot of folks are, eating, grabbing coffee. That's, when we typically take a break about an hour and a half into the raid, and that's when folks are grabbing their coffee and donut and all that stuff. But yeah, all time zones, and everybody's a little bit groggy. Some folks are sleepy, getting ready to go to bed, and it's nice though having that spread because there's at least always one person who's got the mental clarity and focus to actually be, keeping us on the straight and narrow as we're going through.
It is a wild experience to raid with a cup of coffee instead of a glass of beer. I did it for a short time. It was a very, very, very interesting experience. You wouldn't think that it makes that big a difference, but it really does.
Oh yeah, no, there was a week that we don't like to talk about that much anymore, just because of the hellacious event that it was, where we ran out of caffeinated coffee in the house, and we were just running off of Folgers. Yeah, running off of Folgers decaf, like some kind of
Oh,
degenerates. And we were trying to make it work, and you can't fully decaffeinate the coffee, so you got a little bit of the good stuff, man, but you didn't get that hit that you needed.
that's not
I
that's not
I
okay.
think Barf, you need to add a content warning to this podcast.
Was there a supermarket explosion nearby that prevented the reacquisition of fresh, wholesome, good old fashioned coffee?
No, we tried to get by. We have a Keurig downstairs, and we were trying to get by just on the K cups, and we were not keeping track of the inventory, and we just ran out. And so that raid day, we were operating just off of decaf, and if you can believe it, we actually forgot that Saturday afternoon and went into the next Sunday. And I'm telling you, lamentations, weeping, and gnashing of teeth abound.
Oh, oh.
Well, do you you do raid with your wife?
Yeah, no, Zephyra, yeah, she's a fire mage. I'm a holy paladin.
She should
Yeah,
have
we're.
sent you to the store
I
or
know.
to Starbucks.
It's not uncommon though for us to be kind of working into the wee hours of the morning beforehand. We get like a little nap before the raid, and then we just kind of wake up and raid through, and then after the raid, we just kind of crash or whatever.
Mm. Wow. Okay, so we've talked about the folks on your team. We've talked about when you raid, which is an important part of the Bacon and Kegs raid team. That's one thing that really makes you unique. So I'm glad we got that out. Um, yeah, but I heard that you had a particular shout out.
Oh, yeah. No, I just a couple things if I can.
Hmm.
The first one is to Mr. Moriarty. He recently had a birthday. If I read everything correctly in Discord, I believe he's turning 50 years old. God bless him. And he's one of our resident Aussies. And the second shout out was to a nonprofit that our business loves to support here in the Oklahoma area. Uh, the Crossroads Hospice Charitable Foundation. One of their initiatives is the Crossroads Kids Grief Camp. It's a weekend camp for kids who have recently had a loved one close to them pass on. And it's a real good camp where the families and the children can come learn about grief, get started on that path toward healing. It's fully staffed with super compassionate medical and mental health experts, bereavement coordinators, and it's a really holistic way for you don't have to be religious or anything of the sort. It's just a good way for folks to come together and having that shared experience, and for the kids to be able to kind of feel normal again, because when
Yeah.
they're at school, oh, that's Sally, whose mom died. They're no longer that kid. They're just Sally again, and they're getting to play. So it's a beautiful organization. You can find them online at crhcf.org. Um, and you can find their stuff in their navigational header there. But no, it's a beautiful organization, a lot of heart, really care about the kids, and it's just that's my last shout out. Sorry about that.
No, I think that's amazing. My family, they've been to a stroke camp like that, and I love these concepts of camp. So I think that is awesome.
Oh, God bless. Yeah, no, it's a blessing. It really, and you really see those kids leaving just so much more, either at peace or on the path toward healing. But it's such a beautiful way to kind of get them started on that healing journey.
That's really
And
tremendous.
I've got the website. Please go ahead, Barf.
I was just going to say I've got my own experiences with hospice organizations, and the idea that they keep churning out all of these really worthwhile endeavors is just, it blows my mind that they can do as much as they do and then come up with more stuff to do. It's just out of control to me that that's even a thing.
Oh no, that group over there, and we've worked with them for years. We volunteer our time to go up there every year and kind of capture footage and stuff for the camp just to help get the word out and whatnot. And it's just such a tremendous, not only a tremendous way for those kids to heal, but it's just something that kind of uh, you know reinstills your faith in humanity, honestly, because Lord knows if you've been pugging one too many Mythic Plus groups, that can definitely go down the drain.
I
But when,
suppose.
when you see something like that, it's just it really makes you feel like, you know what, maybe we're doing some good here.
Well, I've put the link to the camp specifically in the show notes. Anyone who's listening to this in any of the places that it lives should be able to find that link. But you said it was crhcf.org.
You got it, and thank you so much. My goodness, that's so kind of you.
Well, we sincerely appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
It really, we love having fresh meat, as it were, and we know that Big O is concentrating on classic rating these days. So I guess the last time we had Bacon and Kegs here, it was Big O, and the time before that, it was Sly.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was really cool. She was around at BlizzCon with her kid this past year.
Yep.
Very cool.
Well, I believe we have reached the end of the interview portion of the show. I do have a couple of more quick questions for you there, John. First of all, where can we find you and your team out there on the internet?
Well, we don't have a dedicated site or Twitter account or anything like that. Of course, you can find me in game. Any character that kind of starts with the name of John and is in CTR, JON, that's probably going to be me. There are a couple imposters out there, but they'll be dealt with accordingly. Um, there are, of course, the discords. So if you just ask about us in the CTR Discord, especially, I'm always kind of hanging out in there too. So I'll be sure to track you down. But if you just at me in Discord, it's just at John in most of those places that I'm hanging out at, or just hit us up in game or hit us up in the Bacon and Cakes Discord. We can always get you an invite and come and hang out and pal around, and we'll be happy to welcome any fresh, new, friendly faces.
Perfect. And you already dropped one killer of a shout out on us. So, was there anything else that either we forgot to bring up or that you wanted to cover really quickly before we move on?
No, just one last shout out to my best friend in the whole wide world, my wife Zaf. She is the lifeblood of the team behind the scenes, preparing all the feasts for us and all that stuff, and she helps coordinate because we always put down feasts and cauldrons for everybody, so don't have to worry about that. And she helps coordinate a lot of that and get all those materials together and stuff. And she's my best friend in game and in life, and I'd be lost without her. So, quick little shout out there.
Man, that's really, really nice. Listen to you going on. Well,
I'm a sap.
I can't tell you how happy I was to have you here. You were a tremendous interview. You really, really were. I know I speak for both Fraz and Sal when I say thank you very much for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. At this point, we are going to move on to Frasley for the Frazzled Thoughts. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. Well, I surely do appreciate you guys having me on, and I'll catch y'all next time. Thanks so much.
Bye, John.
Thanks very much, man. Take it easy.
Bye bye.
So, with Shadowlands Alpha looming on us, people always seem to find new ways to harass the devs for an invite. So I wanted to ask you, I want to kind of brainstorm, what is the absolute worst thing to do to guarantee that you don't get an alpha or beta invite for Shadowlands?
Dip, 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 dip.
Sure, yeah, that's it. Certainly, it's all of the extremely effective and definitely not the most awful thing a human being could do. Twitter and even since BlizzCon is always right around the corner, in person harassment that you could give to all of the devs. Certainly, that must be the worst.
Okay. Sal, do you raise that or?
I've given my answer, Presley.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Where were you at on this when you brainstormed this little adventure?
Well, I was thinking, even worse, go on like a platform like YouTube or Twitch or podcast and like talk about just how Blizzard is the absolute worst thing, scum of the earth, so not only is it in person and you're attacking the devs, but you're attacking everybody. So I mean, I think that's the absolute worst way to do it. But
And the
I would
game
not
and the
encourage that
fans.
at all.
Yeah, it
So
sounds like it'd be pretty bad. Across the board, don't do any of those things then, right?
Yeah, don't do any of that thing.
But
Be
like
nice.
to anybody about anything, generally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like
I'd
you're
say,
subtweeting somebody.
maybe sorta. What I would instead encourage you is
No,
go to
yeah.
I am subtweeting somebody, but what I instead I encourage you to do, go to the WoW website, opt in for the beta, and be nice to devs and be nice to writers, even if you disagree with them. Just treat them like human beings. I saw where kind of this happened was one of them just like posted one day that said they went home in tears because of someone being absolutely vitriolic to them. I mean, I'm thinking, oh, that stuff gets me, and that stuff, because I'm the one that words can hurt, and words have hurt me in the past. So please just be nice to your devs. You don't have to agree with them, but be nice to them and the writers.
Yeah, to everybody, really.
So that was my soapbox, but also the way to tell people how to opt into the beta, because it is coming. I know somebody who's already eyeing the cosmetic stuff. Not me, but I've got a friend who's absolutely floored just to see if Blood Elves get new hair.
Yes, that is happening. With that comes the data mining and things like that.
Yes.
That's where I have my fun. There was a time when I wanted to be in beta so bad, but then when I got into the beta, I didn't do much in it, and I realized something about myself is that I didn't want beta access so I could test. I wanted beta access to be part of the elite group who got beta access, you know? And yeah, I thought that was dumb, so I don't even opt in. So
I'm opting in this time because I do want to try to test, but also I realized I could be there to show people what it's like. So I'm not I won't be a tourist. I'm going to look for bugs, I'm going to try to break things because I like trying to break things. It's fun just to see, will this work? Will this? And it makes good content too when stuff breaks.
I typically do not opt into betas either. I may opt into Diablo only because the whole idea of Diablo is that you play it, then you play it again, then you play it again, then and that's how Diablo is. But for Warcraft, I kind of would rather see it while it's live, so I don't have to do. Oh, I already did these quests on the character that is now deleted. That's a little bit more of a bummer, even though it's the exact same experience as what I just described on Diablo. But on Diablo, that's how you're supposed to do it, so it's a little bit different.
And Barf, I saw you. You and I were playing Diablo together, and you were kicking butt in Diablo.
Man.
So let's just face it. You want people to know what a bloodthirsty, awesome person you are.
That Diablo 4 demo was almost perfect.
Yeah, I know.
It needed more monks in it. It didn't have any monks. If you put more monks in it, that's better. The phone game had monks. So I went over and played the phone game, and then I got my monk fix, and I felt okay again.
The phone game is just Diablo 3.
Sorta.
What?
Yeah,
No.
sorta.
Immortal?
No, I mean, it's the same characters and stuff. And
I think you're right. I think it is the same.
Yeah.
But still, that's what the whole point is, you push the button that says punch, all the different various ways that you can punch and or kick. That's what I'm here for.
I want both games. Did you see on Twitter what I wrote about my dentist?
Yeah, he stuck his fingers in your head and then made you have to wait to tell him about how wrong he was about Diablo. That's unfortunate. That's wrong.
Yeah, well, I had a lot of anxiety. It was Friday right after work, and I just had a rough week at work. It just a lot going on, and I was just full of anxiety anyway. And I'm at the dentist, and he's got this like drill thing going on. I'm getting, I had a root canal on like the day after Christmas, and I'm just now getting around to getting the crown on that root canal because of the new company I work for, and had to switch insurances and stuff like that. It just takes time. Not that it took any like weird amount of time. It just took time. Um, anyway, I am just like full of anxiety, and I'm just like, oh gosh, what was he doing that wasn't hurting me at all? Anyway, he looks and he sees my messenger bag that I brought. It was my BlizzCon. He's like, oh, you went to BlizzCon? I'm like, yeah, like 6 years in a row, man. And he's like,
I'm a
oh
regular.
man,
They know me
yeah,
there.
Diablo. And he just went off about how much he loves Diablo 2, and how he currently plays, a lot of rifts and seasons in Diablo 3, and how pissed off he was about the Immortal. And I'm like, dude, I played the game. It was good.
And at the dentist, it is absolutely hard because you want to talk with them. I was talking with my dentist on Friday about podcasts, and you're talking about, I was like, okay, I can talk right now because like I wanted to like talk about all about this podcast stuff, and it's like, why do you make me have to wait to talk to you?
Yeah, no, that was a fun experience, and the anxiety part was important because he was, talking to me on purpose to make me feel better, to get my mind off of the drill sound. Anyway, that was a fun experience.
So instead of anxiety, you were filled with, come on, man, you gonna be?
Yeah.
You gonna be? You gonna?
Are you giving me one of those haters about Immortal?
The emotion of, come on, man, you gonna?
Yeah. And they really do need to make like a nice sound for that drill sound, because for me on Friday that's the sound that made me feel the most. I don't know if they can
reinvent the sound.
Well, at least a diamond drill grinding up against bone.
Yeah. Ugh. But you know what's not a diamond?
I have a temper right now.
But do you know what is better than a diamond drill up against bone?
Literally anything.
Our raid teams.
Oh yeah, that's right. Listen,
this is a podcast.
Teams in Convert to Raid have been posting in the Discord channel for what's it called?
The Progression Updates channel.
Updates room. That's right. And Frasley, the last time I checked, this was 5 p.m. today. I'm going to start this list, and do we see anyone? Let me look. Oh, nope. That's it. So we've got a very, very good list. Frasley, you want to tag team this?
Sounds good.
I want you to start with the first one.
So United Orgrimmar is 6 of 10 MC, and now our Dragon Slayers of Onyxia.
That's right. And United Orgrimmar is, we were just talking about Big O. This is his raid team for Classic. And this is
nice.
And they've killed Onyxia. That is pretty cool. Project Failsauce is officially ahead of the curve. 12 of 12 heroic.
Dark One's Own Luck is 8 of 12 heroic.
Gruul's Gone Wild is at 11 of 12 normal and 2 of 12 heroic.
One day I will read that and not always think of Girls Gone Wild. I always think of that.
I mean, it's clearly supposed to make you feel that way, yeah.
That's the joke?
Girls Gone as it goes.
Well, and I think of Girls Gone Wild, the podcast. Not even Girls Gone Wild.
You're right. But both of them are a joke for anyway.
Yeah.
So the next one
is Facepole is 12 of 12 normal, 10 of 12 heroic, and the Zoth is scoured clean from Azeroth.
That's right. Relentless is now 11 of 12 normal, 8 of 12 heroic.
TLM
Threat Level Midnight.
I will get that one of these days. They're the ones like The Office. Okay, cool.
Like in The Office.
I got the reference. They are now 2 of 12 heroic and 11 of 12 normal.
That's Tommen's team. Fallen Knights is now 6 of 12 heroic and 11 of 12 normal. Looks like a lot of people are getting up to N'Zoth and then going in and killing a bunch of heroics.
Yeah, it
staying on 11 of 12.
Seems like it's the thing.
Yeah, and Rubber Chickens Coalition is 8 of 12 normal.
Nice. Hydro Volunteer Fire Department is now 6 of 12 heroic.
Standard Dragon Protocol is 12 of 12 normal and 3 of 12 heroic, and the Zoth was by far harder than any of the first 3 heroic bosses.
Wow, okay.
That must be why.
Yeah, Edamame Enterprise is now ahead of the curve, 12 of 12 heroic.
And Edamame Enterprise and Rectified are now 8 of 9 mythic. BOD.
What is BOD?
BOD.
So it's the two teams together. I don't know. Let's see. We have anyone from Edamame Enterprise or Rectified in the chat room right now? I mean, I know that we do, but if you can clear that up, 8 of 9 mythic.
Battle of Dazaralor.
Oh,
I found that through Google. I just typed in WoW BOD.
Oh, I'm silly. Oh, they're going back and doing the last raid.
I Mythic.
At
For Jaina
Mythic,
mounts.
which is for Jaina mounts. Gotcha. You know, this makes sense. And the two of those two teams getting together, yeah. Also some OG CTR teams.
Yeah, for real.
Bacon and Kegs is 7 of 12 heroic and 11 of 12 normal, and Nyalafa.
We know them.
And yeah, I feel like we just had somebody on the podcast from
maybe John.
Yeah, maybe. And Rectified is now 12 of 12 heroic.
Dark One's Own Luck is now 7 of 12 heroic.
Okay, they were in earlier, so they went to 8 of 12 heroic.
That was my bad. I'll just delete the first one. Forget I said it.
And is TLDR too long didn't read or?
No, TLDR just pull is the name of the team.
Yeah.
Okay, just pull. Okay, is TLDR just pull is now 11 of 12 normal, 5 of 12 heroic for the week.
Nice. Now it turns out that we did have some Twitter mana buns, and then after the Twitter mana buns chat room, if you have any shout outs, do let us know, and Frasley will take care of those. So we've got Devin Green on Twitter says, shout out to the Troublemakers raid team.
And then Rig said, shout out to his boys at Character Craft Podcast. What?
Winford CTR. Hashtag Heartface. A shout out to the Salad Senate, the best gaming family for the past 7 years.
And then DStev98141 says, shout out to the WoW Challenge podcast and their Iron Man leveling contest, forever proving my inability to get a tune over level 20. I'm with you without that. And they said, for more information, go to wowchallenges.com, which I believe has a new website coming really soon. They've been working hard on that.
Oh, really? That is interesting. I'll never do that because that's too hard.
It's fun. Just go in knowing like I'm still I'm not above 24 on a character. It's and go in and stream because it's fun. Like chat will never let me live down those spiders.
Well, the hard part is that you got to have all white gear, and that you have to you can't choose any talents or a spec even.
The hard part about the Iron Man challenge, and then describe the Iron Man challenge.
Well, also you have to not die.
Yeah.
Well,
that is true. And Granega said the WoW Challenge website, the new one is live as of a couple weeks ago. And
oh,
good.
I'm gonna add an extra shout out to Grenegas. He is just he's an amazing person, just like always friendly, always up there on add-ons, and I thank him every week for the add-ons that I use. Yeah.
Let me go check out this new website, wowchallenges.com.
And then from chat, we had happy birthdays to Moriarty from many people. Sway's CTR said, shout out to OK, good high school football. And then my Twitch kept...
that's Oklahoma.
Okay, the Oklahoma. And my Twitch then decided to censor something that said something is pretty sweet too.
It might be that they had a link, and we don't allow links in chat.
That would be okay. And then Moriarty said, check out Rhoda CTR on Twitch to see how to do Soccer Boss correctly. And then Sway CTR says, shout out to the rubber chickens. Walk, 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 walk.
It looks like this Capo says, shout out to Frasley for being Frasley. And then, and then the squid, the Frazzle
Squid thing.
Yeah. It's Frazoth. And then Sway CTR says, shout out to Grand Nagus. I miss you, bud. Hope to meet you at BlizzCon this year.
Yeah. Okay, so Barf, do you have any personal shout outs?
Gee, personal shout outs. I'm going to shout out to, where is she? Is she over there? She wasn't here a second ago. And shout out to my cat who decided she was going to be my bed sleepy time companion for like a week solid, where I'm dying to death in my mattress, and the cat's just like making sure. That was like the only interaction I had for like 3 days was just the cat. So it was nice.
Yeah. I've got a shout out to Cap for helping me run Harlow through Motherlode to unlock Dark Iron Dwarfs. It was one of those, they said they wanted to run it, and Harlow and Cap are great friends, and it was cool to be like, hey, let's just do this. So now they have a Dark Iron Dwarf. And Dark Iron Dwarfs, look at their hair armor from the side. It looks like a duck.
What?
The helmet on the Dark Iron heritage armor is a duck bill.
I was sure that you were going to say something dwarven like anvil or hammer.
And straight for the duck
then.
Yeah, my friend Sig Chat said it's a duck bill. I'm like, you can't unsee it now. You can't unsee it.
Well, I have a shout out. This is not the first, second, or third time I've given a shout out to Draven Dresden, who's here in the chat room with us tonight. And he's the guy who attempted to bring me through a full clear of the visions, and I just couldn't do it because as soon as we got in there together, his internet just pooped out.
Oh.
And he disconnected something like 14 times.
The way that you started that story was it was almost to imply that the two of you went in there and that you didn't pull your weight. But that's not where it ended.
No. I definitely overweighted. I did more than he did. Because he would pull something and then DC, and then I'm like, the cooldowns.
Well, let it be known that Draven starts something and then Sal has to finish it.
I miss Draven.
Yeah, we haven't chatted in a minute, man. We should catch up sometime. What do you guys say? That's about ready to wrap us up, right?
That sounds good.
Good deal. That is going to wrap us up for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank Navox and Geek Chic Lisa for our theme music. You can find us over on Twitter at converted_CTR. Sal is at summer_Sal. Frasley is at Frasley-tastic, and I am at a bonus level. When is the next episode?
The next episode is Monday, March 16th.
Sweet. Looking forward to it. It'll be a fun time. For Sal.
Bye-bye.
For Frasley.
Bye-bye.
And for myself. We'll see you next time, everybody.
You can follow the show on Twitter at converted_CTR. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Converted Podcast. And find us on our Twitch channel, Converted Podcast. And join us live every other Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really.
This is Project Phoenix Productions saying
Yeah,
five masks.
5 masks. They're like every mask you put on is a new challenge, and they have done up to.
No. I know what it is.
Okay. I know. He's the one I was mentioning earlier. The friend who's I thought it was like 3 masks. Pete is incredible. Like every week he's like, "Oh, I've done this." I'm like, "There's and you'll find this interesting. He did like 12 or like 2,500 Mythic Plus in a week
Why? It's too many.
because he's Pete. He's Pete. He's crazy, and I love him for that.
Wow.
25 Mythic Plus last week.
It's too many.
So John's got that podcast voice, yo.
Yo,
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good guest.
And I was looking at chat. They were saying that, hey, this is how he sounds all the time. When he's doing his call outs, he sounds like that. When he's asking you about how your day was, he sounds like that.
That's actually a good thing for an early morning thing. I mean, because it's not smooth enough that you'll fall asleep, but it's soothing enough that you're like, okay, I don't feel like, hey, it's the morning. You better be awake now because we're gonna race. Like, how you doing?
That's.
I love that. Oh, John, don't change, John. Don't change.
Let's see. Well, I still have to work, and my work computer, my work phone. I have a new phone.
Oh,
that is the same.
I have an old phone.
I've got two of the same phone. Just computer, stop. Sorry.
I have my.
One for me.
I have my Siri now. Does work for me. It will actually clip stream moments because I have a thing where I can just say whatever my phone's name is and it'll clip the last 30 seconds of my stream.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm making Siri work for me.
Siri tells me the weather at least once a day.
Siri asks me what she can help me with when I accidentally hold the button for too long on the side of the phone.
And I find that whenever I'm trying to turn off my phone off to fix a problem, and it's like, oh, I forgot you got to hold down the volume and the power button.
I wish I could delete Cortana. Cortana is really, really annoying.
You can turn it off on your computer, I think.
Isn't she the AI from Halo 3?
Yep. That Microsoft was trying to, for a while, they were trying to be Amazon. And yeah. I've got mine turned off.
I can just turn off the Cortana button.
It's going to take you
Oh
off.
my god. And I just did it.
And then you can also make it where it won't activate. Like I've got on this computer, none of my AI will respond. But
that's all I had to do because I kept clicking Cortana instead of the magnifying glass, like for search.
Yes.
And all I had to do was right click on the Cortana thing. And it's not there anymore. I will never do that again.
Well, we were happy to have helped.
Okay.
Yeah. And
sometimes you just got to speak the problem out loud.
Oh, yeah.
Familiar with this phenomenon.
Okay. I need to get back to work.
Great. The MP3 should be up. Yep. MP3's uploaded.
My father just texted me and says, Donald Trump is now the youngest man running for president. Hooray for the youth.
Yeah, I guess he is, isn't he?
Yeah. The youngest man, yeah.
And he's on Twitch, I just found out.
Who is? Sal's dad, I hope.
No, yeah, Sal's dad's on Twitch, I hope. No,
that'd be better.
Person you mentioned.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be on Twitch.
If I'm allowed to do it, then other people can do it too. Cool. Well, thank you everyone for
thank you, Twitch,
tonight. Gosh, the chat room was on point as per usual. And yeah, that's all she wrote.
Super good. We're gonna go offline now. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Twitch.